Hello and welcome to NETSCAN. I'm going to be talking about arthritis and general inflammation of joints and so on as we get into this. I've had an awful lot of success with this particular problem over the years with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have come to me with pain, joint pain and any other kind of pain, quite frankly, whether it be in the head or anywhere else in the body. Pain is a signal that the brain controls and sends out, and it only does that if you give your brain a problem. Or, of course, if you've broken a leg or something. It's your brain's way of saying there's a problem. It's like a car, it would have a flashing light on the dashboard if there's a problem somewhere, and you have to go and find the problem, fix the problem, and then the flashing light disappears. Well, the flashing light's the same as pain, whether it be a headache or whatever. It's the brain's way of saying, fix it. Now, there's two types of pain. One is a sharp pain that you get when you break a leg, for example. It's your brain's way of saying, don't move it, because if you do move it, of course you make it worse. And it's the brain controlling the situation. You wouldn't know you've broken your leg unless your brain sent a signal called pain to that particular point. Pain is a signal that always, always, always comes from the brain. It cannot come from your leg or your knee or your back. It goes to your knee, your leg or your back, and it comes from your brain. And that's a fact. So your brain then takes away the pain slowly from the broken leg as the leg recovers. So you can start to use it again. It's the brain controlling the situation. The other kind of pain you get is the one you get when you give your brain a problem with a drug called tomato or chicken or whiskey, gin. It's your brain's way of saying, I don't want it. But the pain, this particular pain signal doesn't have to stay in your head. It can and it does run down wires called nerves that lead to your back or your knees or your elbow or whatever. Generally the pain, when it leaves the brain, that computer in your head, runs down wires called nerves and goes to the weakest parts of the body, the weakest parts being the joints, of course, in most cases the knees, because they've been carrying you around all these years. And they may well become inflamed because they've got sensitive nerve endings, and once you get inflammation in a joint, your brain then sends more pain to say there's a problem because the whole thing's not running in sync properly, it's not lined up. But your brain only sends out these wrong signals if you put wrong signals in. It's like any computer. So when you come to NETSCAN, we can fix that. You know exactly what's causing the problem, so you stop putting the signals into your brain, and all these pains and aches and inflammations just disappear. I'm going to take you through some letters now to prove my point. We've got an awful lot of them over the years, but I'm just going to pick out a few because obviously we're going to be a bit short on time. Okay, for many years, many years, I have been a sufferer of chronic osteoarthritis, registered disabled. I have been happily following the advice given and have to report that the results so far have been tremendous. The constant arthritic pain has subsided and I feel a different person altogether. After such nagging pain for so long, I can hardly believe it myself. Nevertheless, it's true. 1,000 thanks for helping me to help myself overcome my debilitating complaints. Registered disabled? How many more registered disabled people are out there suffering with pain when it's so simple to fix you wouldn't believe? I am pleased to say I am much better since I had the screening. Giving up tea was quite a challenge, but the withdrawal symptoms only lasted a day, and I do not regret the decision at all. Pinpointing the other culprits has also helped immensely and made such a difference to my life. It is thanks to your screening that the arthritis in my right shoulder is subsiding and has virtually disappeared. I was crippled with pain and cannot believe that it has gone. I am now convinced that our ills are food related and your revolutionary system of diagnosis is invaluable. Crippled with pain. And how many years this lady, probably, I don't know, maybe most of her life in pain, taking tablets that weren't working. And you know, if they worked, well, that would be great, you wouldn't mind taking them. But they don't in most cases. You need more and stronger ones, and more expensive ones, and you end up with more problems and side effects. This person had blood pressure, thyroid, IBS, arthritis, frozen shoulder and sleep problems. I am so delighted with my results after coming to see you and having the food intolerance test. I have been taking tablets for high blood pressure, also tablets for inactive thyroid, and lastly tablets for irritable bowel syndrome. As you know, I was also suffering from arthritis, frozen shoulder, and was a terrible insomniac. This affects a lot of people when you're in pain. How do you sleep? It's very difficult to go to sleep in pain. In the past 2 weeks, following your instructions very strictly, I am so amazed at the results. For example, all doctors said I would never get off the pills for high blood pressure. I am now off the pills and have a wonderful reading of 105/69. I can never say thank you enough, because I am sleeping better, have no pain and feel great, in capital letters, exclamation mark. Being off all medicines means so much to me, and what I want to say is a big thank you in capital letters for your wonderful service. Just want to mention a couple of things there. Firstly, I don't ever tell people to come off prescribed medication. That's their own choice. But if I can fix the problem, and I do, then they can choose to stay on it or come off it, or talk to their doctor, whatever they decide to do. I always recommend they speak to their doctor, but that's their own choice. A lot of people just come off this stuff. And also, you remember this lady here was taking tablets for an inactive thyroid, and she didn't need them anymore. Interesting, isn't it? The brain controls the thyroid gland, so if you fix the brain, there's every chance you can fix that as well. When you go to doctors with underactive diagnosis of underactive thyroids because you're lethargic and all that nonsense, they don't stop to think about, well, what controls the thyroid gland? Let's fix that first. And when you do that, it's the answer in most cases. I'm not saying in all. I'm not claiming that this solves everything in that respect, but it's well worth doing first before you start getting onto thyroxine and stuff. Another one. Arthritis was diagnosed 30 years ago when I was in my early 30s, having discovered all the foods my body most definitely does not want. Also the vitamin and mineral deficiencies therein, because I checked those, as I say, those are the most important things in the body, vitamins and minerals, and yet how many doctors check them? And I find about 1 in every 5 or 6 people are low on something. And putting this so valuable knowledge into practice, all within 3 to 4 weeks of my visit, I can confirm that what you said I may discover. The need for my daily dose of anti-inflammatories diminished, and in 2.5 months since I saw you, I have taken on average 1 for 2 weeks. Add to this the remarkable fact that all the arthritic joints do not ache, and that's in capital letters. This lady was taking anti-inflammatories every day. Terrible. And she went down to virtually nothing. Again, talking about inflammation of joints, just the brain sending out wrong signals. There are other very important facts to report. I'm sleeping very peacefully and feel a great general sensation. There are other very important facts to report. I'm sleeping very peacefully and feel a general sensation of well-being. My eyes do not water early morning on waking as they did before, and they do not have that tired feeling anymore. My nails, both hands and feet, are in wonderful condition, and a very important fact, my copper bracelet worn for many years does not produce a black-green mark on my wrist any longer. I could go on and on. Many thanks, Gerard. Yeah, interesting, huh? It's chemistry. These things, these copper bracelets and so on, can and do create all sorts of weird colours and react with sweat and the other chemicals that come through the body, and in fact can in many cases cause problems. It's like magnets. They can help, I guess. I always tell people to take them off when they come to see me, because they've had them for years in most cases and they haven't worked. There's lots more letters here. I could go on and on. I'm going to run short of time. But with a magnet, for example, it can either affect your nervous system in a positive way or a negative way. Or maybe it's not going to do anything at all. Who knows? If it's worn down or been. Most people have been wearing them for years. And my first question is how are they doing? Have they helped? And most people's reaction is, well, I don't really know. What I say is take it off, because you don't need anything to become healthy. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. All you need to do is get a health scan and stop putting into things your brain can't handle, and your brain then stops sending out the wrong signals, whether they be pain signals or whether it be inflammation, sensitive nerve endings at joints. It's so simple, and it really does work, as I say. Okay, running short on time. Have a look at my website, healthscan.co.uk, if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, I've got a book, just give you a quick look at that I've written. It's called Why Doctors Don't Make You Healthy. Nice picture of me on the front there as well. Okay, you can buy it in any bookshop, price £10, UK price. You'll see all this on my website, you can review it there. I also provide online health advice if you do need it, say if you're travelling, if you're a long way off. I work out throughout Europe mostly, but I do travel around the world sometimes quite extensively. Okay, got to go, running short on time. All the very best, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.